Shalom. So by now, a lot of people have sat through the 2 hours plus Tucker Putin interview, and there's been a lot of clips and shorts put out on that where they discuss various things that came up in the interview. So yeah, very interesting, very revealing on a lot of things. I think a lot more questions could have been asked, harder questions as well, but it's still very interesting. And finally, you know, you get to hear from the other side. The thing that's blowing up today, Boris Johnson is having a meltdown after being exposed for sabotaging the Ukraine peace deal. Now that is interesting. During the interview, Putin confirmed reporting that first emerged last year about Johnson's role in prolonging the war. David Aramia, the leader of Ukraine's ruling party, revealed that Johnson had scuppered a peace deal that would have put an end to hostilities just a few months after the Russian invasion began. Johnson failed to mention the fact that hundreds of thousands of lives would have been saved if he had intervened to scupper the peace deal. So in his little response, which I will put at the end of this video, right here, is not mentioning any of this. And then in her book, The Plot, by former Tory MP Nadine Dorries, a hardcore Boris partisan, proudly wrote that Boris was responsible for killing a peace deal with Russia over Ukraine as it was the right thing to do, in Boris's own words. The right thing to do has killed how many since then at that moment? So very interesting, and I think it's very telling when you see his response. He didn't even take the time to get to a proper place and make a decent response video and address the accusation directly. He refers to mass media. God bless. Keep looking up. Shalom. Here we go. This is a piece from that interview referring to this incident.
So I just want to make sure I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying. I don't think that I am. I think you're saying you want a negotiated settlement to what's happening in Ukraine.
Right. And we made it. We prepared a huge document in Istanbul that was initialed by the head of the Ukrainian delegation. He affixed his signature to some of the provisions, not to all of it. He put his signature, and then he himself said, "We were ready to sign it and the war would have been over long ago, 18 months ago. However, Prime Minister Johnson came, talked us out of it, and we missed that chance."
Interesting, right? And Boris's response.
Around the world, people are watching that ludicrous interview with Vladimir Putin conducted by Tucker Carlson, and we must not fall for this tissue of lies, above all for the notion that Putin is somehow fated to succeed in Ukraine. On the contrary, he is doomed to fail. Read about it in the Daily Mail.
Read about it in mainstream media. Nowhere does he say that he didn't do that, that he didn't stop it, that this event didn't happen. Those would be the first things I would do if this was me. I would be talking to the exact things that were mentioned in that interview clip. But again, interesting.